Hello there. You are listening to the Light FM's Girl Talk podcast. My name is Carol.
This is Alicia.
Hey, I'm Tricia.
And today we're going to have some fun and talk about food because it is my favorite subject. And that is the truth. I love me some food, and it's the holidays, so, everybody's thinking about food right now. But we have a resident foodie in our midst, and we hope to glean from some of her knowledge today. Her name is Alicia. Would you welcome her to the microphone?
Thank you very much.
You are now, you're kind of a foodie on the next level because you, home make your kids' birthday cakes, and they're not just like, I'm just going to make a little birthday cake. They're like 3 layers and 14 levels.
My son had
homemade frosting.
He had 2
does that?
Kids come over for sleepover, and so we didn't do a big party.
Yeah.
So normally the party is the impetus for the big cake.
You just used a big word, impetus.
I was wondering if I used it correctly. So if I didn't, go look it up.
You did.
But so I was like, I can't just make a regular cake. So I did make a 2-layer cake, and then I made 2 layers smaller that I stacked on top. So even though there was only 6 people eating it, I just had to do the second layer to make it.
I know. I hate it.
Something
that happens.
Wow.
I have to make another layer.
That was his 14th cake. I only get 18 cakes to make for him.
That's a great way to look at it.
Is,
I only get to buy 18 cakes.
Me too. Yeah. Walmart's like, all right, we got about 4 more years of orders of those birthday cupcakes. You know, the ones that you peel off?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like a cake, but
I
it's
love a
actually
good grocery store cake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what I get. Or, that's what, if it's my birthday, no one makes me a cake, so I get
don't make
the cake
yourself
from
a cake?
the grocery store. I have, but no, I'll
Can
just
I
buy
tell
it
you?
from Publix.
Okay, can I just be totally honest? One time, it wasn't homemade. It was an out-of-the-box cake because that is pushing it for me. But I didn't have a pie, a cake pan. So I made it in a pie tin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
The
it looked
cake?
like a flying saucer. It was
Pie cake.
slanted on the
Ever
side.
need? I have every shaped pan. I have. Tricia needed a candy thermometer, and I have one.
Is your candy sick?
She's gonna borrow it and make some fudge and bring it in.
Are you really?
Maybe. It's possible. If I have a candy thermometer, I'm more likely to do it.
See, we got to tell you, we have this staff-wide party, and everybody's bringing something. I'm going to bring cups and plates because that's my specialty.
But no, the rule is you have to bring something, even if it's
store-bought.
Tammy really wants a little more effort of even if it's a block of cream cheese. She said one year Carol, you brought the cream cheese with the jelly on it.
It's chutney. It's cranberry chutney, and
which is
my sister
fabulous.
makes it. My sister makes it. The only reason I bought it was because I knew it was going to go bad before I could eat it all. And so I brought it for other people to enjoy. But my sister totally makes
But
that.
I think it doesn't have to be hard. Like my cakes,
Everything's
I
hard
start with
for me.
a box. A lot of times I start with a box, and you can make it better and do different things. So,
well, you said
Go
you
ahead.
put mayonnaise in a cake the
I
other day.
did.
I was thinking it was so delicious. No, I was like, this is like
was
pudding
really
cake.
good.
It's so moist and fabulous.
That's my grandmother's recipe. Yeah, it's an
You
old
put mayonnaise in a cake?
Yes, and it is. So that
It
is
really is good.
Growing up, my grandmother made us this chocolate mayonnaise cake, and it is so delicious. You don't even notice the mayonnaise is in
Quit
there.
saying
I
that 'cause
guarantee
I'm
you,
gagging.
people that are listening have heard their grandma has made this cake before, and they may make it now. But if you tell people this is mayonnaise cake, but in my family,
not-
we're all like, I want the
not the
mayonnaise cake for my birthday. My older brother, that's his favorite cake.
It was delicious.
It
honestly.
needs a name
It was
change,
very
I'll
good.
tell you.
Well, I don't-
You cannot
yeah.
call it mayonnaise cake.
Well, I
because-
didn't say that in the office when I brought it the other day. I did not say I'm bringing you guys the mayonnaise cake.
That's true.
I
You did
said
not
I
say that.
made a cake for you all because I love you, and I had extra chocolate frosting.
You didn't make
Boy,
it
that
for
thing
us.
went quick.
It did.
Well, I did make it for you. I had extra chocolate frosting
okay.
You did make it.
that I just couldn't throw away, and so I made the cake and put the frosting.
And you would do it for me when I'm on a sugar fast. So thank you for that.
I know.
That was kind.
Well, I'm going to
testing
try
the
to give
levels.
up sugar in January or
Okay.
do something healthier in January. So I'm trying to get it all
So
out.
no mayonnaise cake for you.
Well, I have one recipe that I can make, and I make it very well.
It's
good. Because it's so easy, and I can share it with you, but then you can't bring it to the same things that I'm bringing.
I know, right?
Yes. Okay. It's hot artichoke dip.
Oh, I love that.
It's so delicious. Are you ready
How do
for
you
the
make
recipe?
it? How do you make
1
it?
cup of mayonnaise, and I use the lighter one. again with the mayonnaise, 1 cup of Parmesan cheese, and I get the good Parmesan cheese, the shredded kind.
Expensive kind.
Yeah, a little bit. And then a little bit of like the minced garlic that you buy.
Oh, yeah.
That's already
I don't
done
even
up.
do that.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit of that. And then a can of artichokes that are chopped up. And then you stir it together and you bake it for some amount of time. I don't remember.
Like 20 minutes.
That's it.
350.
And it's so delicious. And it's the thing that I can always make and please folks with.
I have that recipe, and I called like the 1-1-1. That's how I remembered it. It was like a cup, a can. Yeah. And you just stir together and cook it. Because some guy at my office one year, we had a potluck, and he brought this recipe, and I was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever tasted.
Delicious. Yeah.
And he told me the recipe, and I've made it for like 20 years now.
Well, you better back up. So I don't want to see it at our
Girl talk
holiday party.
smackdown.
It's the only thing I've got, Alicia. You can't take
so
it.
I told you guys before we started I was going to gross you out.
Oh, great. You've not only done so with the mayonnaise
I want to know what is like one of your family recipes, but I'm going to tell you one of ours around the holidays. We have this cookie recipe. It's called the Scandinavian Cookies. And
I was going to do a Scandinavian accent, but I don't know.
Oh,
and
no.
I don't think anyone in my husband's family is Scandinavian, but somehow one of his grandmothers, this was like her recipe, and it's been passed down, and it's my favorite cookie.
Wow.
So it's like a shortbread or a sugar cookie, how you make it, and you cut it into shapes. So
I don't know what that means. You've already lost me. Does that mean a lot of
do
butter?
you ever roll cookies, like sugar cookies?
If the directions say it, I do it.
So this
the
is
ones
a
you
rolled cookie. Okay, Girl Talk listeners are going to need to write in and encourage me because this is going nowhere.
We love you, Alicia. I'm impressed.
Okay,
Right,
but
go
so
ahead.
I haven't even gotten to the good part yet.
Oh.
So it's like a shortbread. It's a drier cookie, okay? So you cut it out into shapes, and I do hearts. And in the middle, you put a jam. And you put the other heart on top.
like
so
a
it's like
jelly.
a little
That's
it's like
nice.
a little sandwich cookie.
Okay, nice.
And then you dredge it in powdered sugar.
What does that mean? Dredge.
Dredge is you put powdered sugar
like
in a
folding.
bowl or something, and you dip
Kinda
the
dip it in.
cookie in
Okay.
it and cover it in the powdered sugar, and then you set it in a container
Okay.
for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
And the
Wait a minute.
powdered
Who has
sugar,
time for that?
The powdered sugar absorbs into the cookie and makes it the most delicious.
Oh.
It moistens the cookie.
So who
But you
said
have to plan
like,
in advance.
Is it
6
time? You
weeks?
should be doing it now.
6
I know.
weeks from now, I'm going to want a dredged cookie.
Yeah.
So if you want them for Christmas, you have to make them
Start
at
6 weeks
in
Thanksgiving.
advance.
Start last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
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 Yum, though. It does
That's
sound
mine.
good.
Well,
Does
let-
sound good.
That's our that is the one, but I can't make it every year because if I'm not on, if I'm not on it that year, forget it. That cookie's not happening.
So let me tell you 2 of my cooking stories that still to this day, they're like legends in the people that know me. They're my 2 cooking legends.
good.
So
Can't wait.
I went to this really small church at one time, and I would really feel guilty when we'd have those dinners after church because I would always go, but I would never take anything. Mm-hmm. So my pastor's wife felt sorry for me. She was like, I've got a recipe for a cherry yum yum. You cannot mess this up. Obviously, she was not. She had not tested this theory fully. So she gave me the recipe, and I could have sworn she said melt the Cool Whip.
Oh my goodness!
How do you do that?
You put it in the microwave,
Oh.
and you press start. Have you ever seen clabbered
did it
milk?
Turn into
That's kind of what it was like.
that would
like,
be disgusting.
It was, and then because I don't know, and I'm so dumb in the kitchen, I didn't know what to do with it. So I thought, well, maybe it'll go back together. There's a
you whip
reason.
it?
There's a reason they call it cool. Oh, yeah. I'm just saying. So that was
Warm whip.
that was my first. There might even be 3 stories. The next one was one year I went to a Christmas party and everybody had to bring something, and so I thought one of my favorite things is turtle brownies. Like who doesn't like
Yum.
turtle brownies?
Yeah.
So they make that in a box now. I don't know if you knew that or not. Newsflash. So I bought a box to make turtle brownies. Well, what I didn't think of was I fixed the turtle brownies. They were warm, but we had like a Christmas parade before, so I let them sit in my car and they got cold. So when they went to cut them, the guy stuck the knife in it and the whole pan comes up on the knife.
No! Oh no!
And so no one ate them.
Oh. Well, there was only one.
So you just
There was only one. It was just one huge turtle brownie, and it was so hard that you could probably, build a house with it. I don't know. The third one is, so I finally did master making Rice Krispie treats.
Oh, that is good.
And they all laughed at me at this little small church I went to because the pastor was like, "Everybody stay for dinner today because Carol's made Rice Krispie treats." Like, okay. And so I got in a pattern of making Rice Krispie treats, and he said that every time. Well, one time I forgot about the dinner after church, and he said that from the pulpit, and I was like, "Uh-oh." And so, I left.
You didn't have any.
No, I left during the invitation. I drove to the closest grocery store. I bought a box of Rice Krispie treats. I ran to my house. I put them on my plate, put saran wrap over them, and I took them to the church fellowship dinner. Everything was going swimmingly until one of the guys said, "Hey, Carol, how'd you get them all the same size?"
Your conscience starts to bother you.
So
Thankful for God's grace.
that is my cooking history right there, in just like three little stories. That tells you I don't
I've just
attempt
recently
anymore.
learned that Rice Krispie treats, I think I'm pressing them down too hard. Like, I think you can. You can mess them up.
You have to watch the pressure there. Whatever.
Oh, I think cooking is just ridiculous for me. I don't cook, but I love to watch cooking shows on TV.
Yeah, what's the
That's
draw
weird.
there?
I don't know. I think it's, Chopped. I find Chopped so fascinating. I love how they take like pickles
Well, you're
and
very competitive.
onions
though,
and
do you like it for the
Competition.
I do like the
competitive.
Yeah. I usually pick up somebody I like, and I'm like, "Go, Sally," or whatever. But I do find it fascinating to see how they can take all these crazy different ingredients and put them in one thing. Like green beans and chocolate chip cookie dough and pickles, and somehow they make it an appetizer.
And then some of the judges have to eat it. I would not want to be a judge on that show.
No. But I am fascinated by cooking. I kind of wish that I had been interested in it earlier and kind of gotten a little more comfortable. I think I would have enjoyed it. I do like to create things for the family. Like, that feels good when I can do something like that. I'm not a baker. You're cooker or you're baker.
Right.
Cooking is more like feeling it and stirring it with all the
and
love.
folding stuff.
But I don't bake. There's no baking.
Is baking only folding?
Baking includes folding.
Yeah.
That scares me.
You fold
and dredging.
clothes, not food.
Yes.
I don't know where that comes from, because I read a recipe when I was like, I will read through recipes, and if I can't stay past the second line, then I'm out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it's an attention thing with me. And if I try to do multiple things at once, it never turns out well. Like, I'm a one focus, put the pizza in the oven, set the timer. I'm good.
Yeah.
If
You're creative. You're already thinking about what can I do with this pizza? Something fun.
Put it in my mouth. What I'm going to do.
Put it in your mouth.
So, I also think that the rotisserie chicken is the greatest invention ever.
It
if
really
you
is.
thought of that, then I want to hug your neck. So write to me so I can come to your house and thank you in person, because that's rotisserie chicken and mac and cheese are the two things that have kept my kid alive for 12 years now.
Well, I think
the crock pot too.
Yeah.
Let's give a little nod to the crock pot. Although we can, some of us are talented enough to even.
You're thinking of when I forgot to plug it in, right?
Well, that's
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I burned something in the crock pot once. It can happen, believe me. But the crock pot usually is at least a safer option for those of us that are cooking challenged. Right?
Aren't you looking into an air fryer?
Yeah, because somebody said it was real easy, right? You spray it and you put it in, and boom, it's delicious food that's low fat. Am I right?
I've heard great things about it. I want one, but
you have your judging face on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're judging us, aren't you?
Are you judging my air fryer?
no, I can't wait till you get one and you can show me that it's
I'm
great.
air fryer shamed. Right here, right now. I will. I'll bring you something.
Yeah,
that you've air fried.
Yeah, that I've air fried. That's the thing.
great.
I'll probably use 3 times the first week, and then boom, it goes in the back with the mixer.
Well, I have.
Oh, my mixer's right out there, right front on the counter.
You could probably tell how good cook they are by what's in, what's prominent in their kitchen.
Like, when I was young, I'm like, I am not going to cook. I'm going to,
order out.
I was like, I didn't want to. I had zero interest in it. Let's just say that I had zero interest in it. And I'm like, my husband better know how to cook because I'm not going to be the one cooking. Mm-hmm. But over the years, I enjoy it more. I don't really enjoy cooking as much, but baking, there's something about baking that I do. it's like a love language. I love serving something that I made, especially like the birthday cakes, because the kids love it and the friends come over and they, there's just joy on people's faces. And that's what I like about it. And over the years, I think because of the cooking shows, I've learned how to, that's how I learned how to cook.
Yeah, yeah.
I grew up with a single working mom and my grandmothers cooked some and I learned some from them. But, we were kind of fend for yourself for dinner type of family, do simple things, get food on the table. And so these cooking shows have shown us, wow, there's a lot more to it, and you can come and sit at the table together. So I'm still kind of learning how to do all that, and I want something tasty. And
that's nice.
That's
wonderful.
nice.
It really is.
But it takes a long time. It takes so long. I think that's why Instant Pots and crock pots and air fryers and things like that are so popular. And I actually think they're kind of important because we are so busy. You can't do, I did those cooking where they send it to your house.
In the
you
box.
just
I did
chop it.
Yeah.
And those were... the flavors were amazing, and they got me out of my comfort zone of what I was cooking. Yeah. But then some of them I was like cooking for 45
minutes. Can't do it.
And I'm like, I don't have time for that.
I don't have the attention for it.
So I kind of plan my week on, if I have more time, if something's going to take a long time, I'll do that on Sunday night. Or Tuesday is Taco Tuesday because that's easy.
Yes.
You can make taco meat and freeze half of it. Do a double batch and freeze half so next week you don't have to cook it. Do you do that?
No.
Do that.
No,
it is so easy. There's all these people that do the freezer meals and all that, and I can't get that.
Defrosting scares me.
I'm thinking to myself, y'all actually plan what you're going to have during the week? Because I don't do that. I just what do I feel like?
It depends. Sometimes I'm really, really good at it because you've got to sit down
hard to
and
be
you've
creative every week.
Make a menu, and then you've got to shop against that menu. And sometimes I'm like, I don't have time for that. I'm just going to the store, and I'm going to. This I'll be able to defrost. This I'll be able to put in, and it'll be ready in 20 minutes. And I always have rice that I can cook fast.
You have a rice cooker?
I do have a rice cooker.
What is a rice cooker?
It cooks rice.
You can't screw it up.
That's what my pastor's wife said. And look what I did to the cherry yum yum.
I had two girlfriends at work that were like, you don't have a rice cooker. And we immediately went out and they bought me a $10 rice cooker. And that's the cooker I have today still. And it's amazing.
I steam it in the bag. I'm just like,
me too.
I
that works great.
Steam in the bag stuff.
Yeah, but then it sticks on the side of the pan sometimes. You ever had that melts on the side of the pan? I've got little pieces of boil in the bag rice on some of my pans.
This is like you just let it breathe in the top.
You mean the one, the microwave?
Yeah.
There's a microwavable one too. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
I always have. But if you have those types of things and you keep them in your freezer, you can always have a good meal.
No, I just
on
walk
the
over.
quick.
I walk over to the fridge and go, "What can I make from skim milk and mustard?"
Oh, it's like chopped.
Yeah,
great. I'll watch.
Yeah,
Well, cheer you on.
It'll be a really short episode. There's nothing to chop. Oh, I just broke something over here. But I think we probably need to draw this to a close because probably somebody's got to cook dinner and they're listening to this and they're like, "I'm laughing too hard."
Good luck to you.
Yes, we're all pulling for you. Thank you. We'd love to hear what your favorite recipe is, what you're fixing for dinner, and if you have any easy recipes to share with us, make sure they are 2 or 3 bullets because that's all I can pay attention through.
4 ingredients or less is my hope and my prayer.
If you've got suggestions, we'd love to hear from you. This has been a lot of fun. We've laughed a lot. I'm not sure we've come up with any
I know,
good.
right? I don't
good
know
thing.
how helpful it's been,
Hot
but
artichoke dip. I
Yeah,
gave you the
hot
recipe.
artichoke
yeah,
dip,
we'll have to put that.
But don't bring it.
Guess
to
what
any
I'm
party
bringing?
I'm going to be. No.
Hey, we love you so much. We love you so much. Thank you so much for listening to the Girl Talk podcast. We hope whatever you eat tonight will be full of flavor and full of fun because that's the way we like it here. You can't tell? You need to go back and listen again. So let us hear from you, Girl Talk at thelightfm.org. Hey, I want to remind you, too, if you're listening to this podcast either on the Google Play Store or on iTunes, give us a quick like. Give us a quick review because that's how other people find out about the podcast and you can help us out in a big way with doing that. So thank you so much for doing that. There's even talk that we might be getting some Girl Talk t-shirts. And if you leave a comment, we might throw a couple of those your way. So leave a comment, get in touch, join the Facebook page. We would love to see you there. And we'll see you next time we gather around these microphones for the Girl Talk podcast.